Where is my model? Oh, there it is. Hello. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere, but I will have family visiting me for the rest of the month. So I will probably not be streaming at all because it feels a bit weird streaming when there's people visiting you. I can't just like ignore them and, spend 2 or 3 hours streaming and playing games and talking to other people. So yeah, I think my next streams will probably be in March. And I've also got to like move because I'll be shifting to a new place. So yeah, no streams for the rest of the month, I think. I mean, I might still go online for a bit. Yeah, let me. This Discord. Let me restart Discord as admin because otherwise it's not picking up my keybinds.
Okay.
Take care. Thank you. Can I ask about your tags? Sure. What tags do I have right now? See, I just copied that from a streamer I really like to watch. He makes a lot of jokes. We are looking to level up over time. Right now, our streams are only at C tier.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Let me change category.
Banana King isn't coming.
Okay. Alright, man. Got work tomorrow. Hope to see you soon. Yeah. Good luck with work tomorrow. Get some sleep. Let me shout you out.
Why don't you get some sleep first?
I slept all evening. I was planning to stream earlier, but I slept till like 10:30.
Cheap and tasty chop suey.
The cakes may have overeaten. Ugh. Liyue
I need
people
to
must have iron
claim my
stomachs.
daily stuff. Will you join?
No. Let me. Why is Steam open? Let me close Steam.
Because Kenshin is preparing their stream release.
Is it not on Steam yet?
Kenshin no Boa was on stream.
I thought it was already on Steam and I just didn't download it. Like for who?
You switched to Steam for Boa?
No, I thought I didn't switch for both, but they're both available.
Cheap and tasty chop suey.
Uh,
That's
just doing the weekly bosses should do my dailies, right? No, I think it'll do 3 out of 4.
not 3, 1 or 2. I'll be on the position.
I think for every 30 it does 1, right? Every 30 resin. Let me do one daily and then I'll join and we can do the weekly bosses. me put up chat on my phone.
Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from Liyue has an enduring aftertaste. In Inazuma, the water possesses a depth of flavor unlike any other.
Hello.
Sumeru's water,
Hello.
meanwhile, has a rich and
Okay.
complex flavor profile
What?
that must
It,
be savored
New Village is
patiently to
yapping.
fully appreciate it.
Hey,
it's telling
did
me
you
about
start?
water. No, I'm going to do one daily and then join. I think if we do 3 weeklies after that, my dailies will be done.
Oh, I already
what is-
completed 1 weekly.
Oh,
Well, the tutorial was. You can do it again. It's fun.
yeah.
Although it
Hey.
feels a bit simpler.
Yeah, it only has one phase. It's
No, if you don't enter the Shadow Realm, it will last longer.
yeah, I guess I always enter. I just take the current team that I have, New Village, Call of Duty, and Paloma. Everything dies.
This is also
Yeah.
if I don't count characters the newer ones,
Set
the newer ones, for example, Columbine on the Serenade set for Flits. For Nefer, it's a different combination.
I have not done proper artifact grind in so long.
You barely got 1 or 2 not cry characters.
Oh, I have everyone except Flynn's, right? And Nefer, yeah. Flynn's and Nefer.
The DPS.
I have in Nefer, I have Columbina, I have Lima.
Insulation chamber deployed. You poor lost.
Settle down!
Okay, we can do weeklies.
Maybe it is.
Let me turn on some music.
Just take the far. Let's see if your Columbia and sucrose. Need your sucrose.
What?
Melusines are
Columbina
beautiful
and
creatures. They are the pride of
Sucrose.
Fontaine. Be sure to befriend them
Sucrose.
and cause them no harm.
Sucrose is somehow irreplaceable in this form.
So does she even have a weapon? She does not have artifacts. She does not have
Wow.
weapons.
Okay, then you get your inner I'll get my sucrose.
Yeah. Where is
Sucrose. My sucrose is on 80, but yeah, it's okay.
it? Let me see. I hope she has stuff.
People ought not be so frightened of ghosts.
Water comes in many
They are
flavors to the
merely
discerning
talking.
palate.
Yeah, I won't get your shield right.
With the level of the throne in my hand, behold the false moon's fall!
climb the
Animal hypostinct.
Defensive mode engaged. Preparing for dust up.
Be silent. That's more like it. You cannot face me. Found you.
what happens if you look at it?
Thing you get
Pathetic.
what I got right now. I need to heal it.
Insulation chamber deployed.
Enter the
I'm going in.
Hello.
Hello,
All the best.
are you on a protocol?
Huh?
Cleanup sequence initiated.
Wait, who?
Observe. Fear the dark. Be silent. Observe. Excellent. You cannot face me. Found you.
Insulation chamber deployed.
Close your eyes. All the light. See you at the graveyard.
No way, this is dead. Oh no, again.
Why am I muting myself?
My research has failed.
Instead of muting my mic, I'm muting my output.
Defensive mode engaged. Accelerate.
What can I even do? I'm supposed to be the DPS.
Insulation chamber deployed.
I don't even see any progress. It's really just the other is standing here.
You cannot face me. Found you.
Just use your charge attack.
With the marrow of the three moons in my hand, behold
Not
the false moon's
for the
fall.
charge attack. Why can't I revive myself?
Ultimatum protocol.
So you'd rather wallow in this rotten, decaying
No
world?
space left in artifact inventory.
I just deleted all the, not all, some of the fountain sets. Like Whimsy and the other one, Navia set and the other one along with it. Never gonna use that.
I deleted 7 artifacts, still have 2400. Ah, salvage.
Good faster Palomina started taking a nap.
Ah, Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City, 94 artifacts.
Tinder City is for support. No nothing
Yeah.
support left.
Okay, that should be enough for now. Just watching her sleep. Creepy man.
Which one next? We haven't done the local co-op challenges together. Are the achievements? Are there any ones?
Probably we haven't done for a long time.
Yeah. Defeat Secret Source Automaton, Configuration Device, Tenebro, Papilla, all the Natlan ones.
Wait, where is that? Meetings in the Outer Realm. And what about this? What is this Challenger series? Oh, is that for the solo? Ah,
You want to do other bosses as well?
yeah, we can do more weeklies. Or I can do it later, it's fine.
Okay.
We can do the achievements.
Hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay,
Which one first?
I don't know. Let's go in order maybe. Secret
One sec.
source.
Let me mute first.
Where is the secret source automaton? There's
I
so
used
many
to take
bosses I
long
don't
walks in
remember
Silver
anymore.
Moon Hall every day. So don't worry about me. I can keep up.
I should use the guide.
Automaton is near People of Springs.
This one, right? Overseer
We
device.
need,
Is it overseer
we need
device
the.
first or?
On Moon Prayer Night,
I'm at the
I received a
automaton.
name that belongs to me. Columbina Hyposelenia.
Okay, first is
I used to think the
configuration
name was nothing more
device.
than an alias.
Then
Something
there is
separate
Oh,
from
overseer.
People of
oneself.
Springs. People of
But
Springs.
after that night,
Need not
I
planning
realized my name is
resource.
what connects me to this world and the people within it. It is all that is intangible. Their friendship, love, and support. Manifested for the world to see. I will...
Ah. What do you want to use?
We can use anything, I guess. You need someone that can climb.
Yeah, I have someone that can climb.
Would you like to go moon
Let's go.
gazing? You can sit in
Don't
my
fall
rocking
and
chair and
die.
admire the view.
Who
Or
else?
we could go to the
Let
moon
me
and gaze down at Tefat.
Mavika.
Whatever you prefer.
save double. So let me take.
Harlequin.
Yeah, I can do that too, I guess. Uh, where is Harlequin? Harlequin might die without shields.
We have double healing.
Letting brave names
But
echo.
it doesn't work on
Burn it down. Transfixed from the sky.
Right.
Great.
That's the whole time.
Bring it. Let's hear the echoes of the valley. Overruled. Light of the blazing sun. Witness my rise. Laid bare. Try to stop me. Heat you from the sky.
Next. Tenebro Papilla.
Yeah. Where is this? Yeah.
I think we need burning for this. Kinich.
I don't have a good Kinich.
I have 1180. Naida. It won't matter. This is not abyss level.
Yeah.
Transfixed.
Oi.
Yeah.
Let me help. Overrule.
Can't hear anything you're saying.
हमारे तो bulldozer complete. ऐसा लगता है level up करता है.
Temple of Wisdom!
ये हमारा
Oh,
Laid bare.
once again I have got over there. I have a story quest here somewhere.
I have a lot of Natlan story quests left,
I
like
have
the
it
world
done.
quests.
Yeah, a lot of it is pending.
Wayward
since that.
Hermetic Spirit. This one is Seeklali one. You need to freeze her.
Freeze or break her freeze.
Okay, if you scan her with Seeklali, then she gets frozen.
You know, honestly, I never knew that was a thing. Double scan. No, you need TPS. I'll take Mavika.
Yeah. Where is this
Benny
one?
boy.
There are so many bosses. I don't remember where anyone is. This one? Yeah.
This near the Trounce domain.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Many brave names echo. Going in. Suffer the wrath of Eastleigh. Fulfill our pact.
Oh, great. Now you're just being mean.
How do you find all this one?
I would just use brute force.
Oh, great.
Burn it down.
Now you're just being mean.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Fulfill our pact. Pyroclastic surge.
Oi.
Incinerate. Yeah. Everybody stand. Bring it. Adventure time.
What?
Lord of Eroded Primal Fire. Oh, wait.
Eroded?
Weekly.
Oh my god, no. We can't do it. We have to do it. But it would take some time. Let's do easier ones first.
Okay. Lava Dragon Statue.
No, not even done.
What was
Where's
the
that?
gimmick for that? It's right below.
You need pyro. Or yeah, you need pyro or something. Oh. Burning. Mahida.
Okay.
No Siklali. Lauma.
No idea, took Nahida.
All right. Let the mountain
For the
face boil.
everlasting
South of Moon!
Wrath from the sky!
Yeah! Committed to memory! Yes, protect her!
Let's rock!
Committed to memory! Yeah!
Light up the Hear the echoes of the valley! Try and stop me!
This way turn a little. Yeah!
Leave this place. With one heart, we
Yeah!
pray.
Grow! Sharing my knowledge!
Pyroclastic
Doesn't
surge!
that interfere with the
If you after you
Let the mountain's veins boil!
that it is stunned, you can use other characters.
Rev the
Committed to memory! Yeah! The Temple of Wisdom!
Wrath from
This
the
way turn a
sky!
little.
Alright. Hear the echoes of the valley!
Uncle hands! Yeah!
Almost done.
Light up the blazing sun!
Yeah, next.
Incinerate! Full throttle!
To get out of here before it respawns.
I think if you don't take the thing, it doesn't respawn quick.
Yeah.
Secret source. This one is on the island, I think. Yeah.
Which one?
Bottom left corner of the map. I think it needs
yeah.
freezing or something.
I don't recall. I hope you do not have to go to Marjavari.
Go to where?
Bakunawa. Fight
Oh.
Bakunawa.
May I present?
What else do we need? Signal is not gonna be useful in co-op. Yeah, let's go. There should be a
Wait, then I should take
fighting
Siglali.
Bakunawa.
Because my Skirk build depends on the shield. I think 15%
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Merciless!
But then,
No mercy! No problem!
oh shit. Use the charge attack on this cookie.
Draw goes out!
Creating dishes. You're not losing the
Fear's on the loose! Hang in there!
better option.
Fearless! Paradise! Pinnacle of excellence! Merciless! Show no mercy! Sword power! A burst of flavor!
Next.
The game. Oh, this is also the weekly.
Which one?
The game before the gate. The chess
Eh.
weekly.
Ah, that's fine. You can do it. Don't take that long. Atlan one takes quite a long time. Then Purina.
Get to work! Off to the freezer! Posting. Get to work.
Just stand over here.
My turn to take the spotlight. Off to the freedom. Merciless. Fulfill our pact.
This is more light.
Let the world collide. Merciless. A little of this boost.
King and Queen should present a united front.
Show no mercy. The bull have first flavor. Merciless. Get to work.
Ouch, 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 ouch.
This stage they hit quite hard. At least you have double healing.
But you're also getting healed.
Suffer the wrath of Eastling.
Oh, this is all getting rather dreary.
Allow me, my darling.
Echoing song. A little of this boost.
Ow! A little too toasty.
Go of excellence.
It is time to slay our foes
Get to work.
with one almighty
This calls for some
strike.
pomp and ceremony. Good lord, I was forgetting your lines.
Where were we?
Let's all go back.
Our performance has yet to conclude.
Boost on the loose.
I dance for you, my dear.
Nice.
I need to leave this one.
Yeah.
Almost exited. Next.
Knuckle Duckle.
Ah, that's fun.
Knuckle Duckle, Radiant Moonfly, and Lord of Eroded Primal Fire.
You just need flints. What are these?
I will take Inefa.
Sucrose. Bina Bina. These guys are standing over here. Do you see these two?
No. Don't see any.
Strange. Don't tell me I'm hallucinating. Why am I not
Defensive mode engaged.
Fear the dark.
Annihilation mode. Insulation chamber deployed.
Fear the dark. Observe.
Dust. Animal
Nice.
Next is Frost Knight Hera.
Radiant Moonfly.
Ah, it's okay.
Where is that?
Nothing passage.
Nothing passage. Oh, yeah.
Ultimatum protocol.
Be silent. Night falls.
A new moon rises.
The long sleep bends.
I think only the boss is left now, the weekly.
First night Hera? Do we have that?
I don't think it's there, right? No, only eroded primal fire is left. Frost Knight Hera is in not cry, right? Or is it?
Yeah.
Not
Not cry.
our ire.
Near the Hellenic Chronicles.
Yeah, but it's not there yet, so
We should do it. It would be added retrospectively.
will it give the achievement?
I think it did.
Let's
past.
experiment. Let's do it.
Yeah. Same team.
Accelerating.
Three moons converge.
Cleanup sequence initiated. Preparing for dust up.
Observe to dust.
Animal hyper... Surge. A moonlit night for all.
Installation chamber deployed. Ultimatum protocol.
Be silent.
Animal test 60...
Yeah, what was this achievement?
I think you haven't defeated it before it.
Without changing its elemental type.
Yeah. So if you use an outcry unit, especially Flint's, you can do it without it. Changes its element, which increases its resistance.
Yeah. I just brute force it with Mavika team.
I think you should get Flint's. It's quite strong. That plant rounds, no it.
Yeah, we can do it.
Can't use this.
What should I use?
Bennett and Hilary would be a bit too much risk if I die.
I don't sing for anyone in particular.
Will
Still,
my
Pick,
Signali
Someone
give
stops
you?
to listen.
Yeah,
I hope it provides a moment of peace all the same.
And
Anyway, we need two that can break that
yeah,
tower.
let me select her. Extra healing plus.
Bennett.
I think
Oh,
Purina does as good as Bennett or better at breaking those things because of field damage continuous. I normally
everything
use
used like that.
yeah, I normally use her instead of Bennett for this fight.
This world.
Why not heal? Stab.
Let me raise James Echo! Wrath from the sky!
Time to shine!
Is this
Oh, it has.
fate?
You ignited a fire that you could not control.
Why? But I'm only healing.
Dodged.
Hear the echoes of the valley! Let the world collide! Yoo-hoo! Bring it!
I left a bit.
Oh, this one's left.
Fulfill our path! Strike a rise! Lightning, echoing song! Wrath from the sky! Let the mountain's veins boil!
Load it up.
Come, join me in the eternal night! Like reckless much?
Ready, get out.
Light of the blazing sun!
Yeah.
Current something. Like this if you
I need the billets. Go. Did we complete all?
Yeah.
Ah. The name card. After 10,000 winters come 10,000 springs anew. After 10,000 partings, 10,000 reunions too. The past has slipped away, yet tomorrow holds the promise of you.
I don't understand. I just heard a Discord ping, but I don't know where it came from.
Let us have a modicum of patience for the
lurking.
richness and complexity of humanity.
Wait,
The
let me.
wanton cruelty of the
Okay,
few
no, I
is
can't
not
do that.
worth our ire.
Cleanup sequence in progress. Based on data from past incidents, please avoid dropping small items such as Mora, screws, gears, minerals, toys, gummies,
to do
snacks,
now?
hairbands, socks, and slippers.
People
We can do over even in Miliastra.
Come on! Show me your courage!
beware the creatures of the night.
I have not played Miliastra since like the first week it launched.
DPS. Does it allow the to do the DPS one in co-op?
No idea. I have to claim my dailies. Do we still need to leave co-op to claim dailies?
Yeah, just like the good old days. Yep, can't talk.
The sky is clear again.
Ad Astra. Thank you for Ad Astra Abyssal.
In the Lantern Red quests, they did not put the traveler's new outfit. He
Yeah.
keeps switching back for all the fixed cutscenes. He keeps switching back to the old one. Then for gameplay parts, it's back to the new one. I think it was being developed in parallel with the quest, so they didn't have.
But is it that difficult? I think it's just a skin.
Yeah, I assumed it would just be like. I assumed they would not be pre-rendered, so it just use your current character, but apparently not.
That's what Nova does, which is why it has 45 FPS max.
No, but Wuwa that gives you like a trial version for the fixed stuff.
Oh yeah.
It does not use your normal one. Otherwise, my guy would come with his crown and his mask. Goofy, rover.
Now we'll get the school uniform.
Defeat boss opponents.
Oh yeah, we haven't tried the mannequins.
Tried what?
Using them in overworld
I have when
or
they
with the
launched.
horse skins.
Horse skin, yeah, I have not tried since then. Wait, how do you? Is it like a normal skin? You go to them and.
Yeah, in the if you need to select one. The red bandana is the female character and the other
Oh,
one is
you
the
need to
male one.
create a cosmetic plan.
We haven't created one yet.
No, for the new outfit, you need to create another one. Save.
Let me join you.
I am in teapot.
Yes, send me an invite.
Wait, you need to request it, I think.
I did request for a co-op.
How do you invite to today? We haven't used teapot in so long.
This realm is.
Yeah. Friends, right click. Request to visit Serenity Vault. My god. It's been ages. When we used to.
If you ever.
Farm. Do farming for character materials. Let me switch my character.
I should have selected the male one. I was not aware about it.
The wobbly snout is very funny. Let me do weekly cooking and make magma eggs. And
What eggs?
magma eggs.
Eh? What recipe is that?
I think you get it somewhere in the Easy Breeze Summer Resort or something.
Oh. Is it better than Tewad fried?
I don't know what it does, but it just requires eggs, and I have like 250 Tevat fried eggs, so I cooked that one. Let me see. Magma
I need
eggs.
it more frequently, so I.
Why is this not sorted in? Let me just check it here. This is for healing. Restore 9 to 10% of max HP and additional 1000 to 1200 HP to the selected character. I think that's for the normal one. For the perfect looking, it'll probably be slightly higher. Suspicious magma egg. Best not to eat this. Okay, no, 9% is for the normal one and 10%. Oh wait, I have 365 magma eggs. Now I've cooked this one too much. I'll switch back to fried eggs next time.
Okay. We just switch outfits.
Huh? I pressed E and it switched outfit. Why did it do that? When the effect goes away, then it comes back. I think because I just applied it, it has not like fully saved it or something. It's not loaded the shaders for the effect. So when this
Didn't say,
effect
didn't
comes...
say. Hey. Why are you burning? Why are you burning
Oh.
underwater? SpongeBob logic.
Oh, what else? What is a weekly I can complete and I'll get PP 40, I'll get a standard pull. Defeat boss opponents 8 out of 10. Let's just bully some easy boss. What is the best way to leave Teapot without disbanding everything?
Impossible.
Unable to return to single player mode while inside Teapot. Okay.
You need to kick me out first.
I think I can teleport. Okay, wait. Which boss do we want to do? Do you have any old boss you need to do? I had to level up Albedo to unlock his Echo trial in Imaginarium Theatre, so I was doing his boss for the last few days.
Special probably.
What does she need? Electro hypostasis?
Or we can do my husband. We can do
We can do Anemo hypostasis. I think Sucrose needs it.
yeah, she's on 80. Alright.
The teleport is so far away from the boss.
Yeah, we can use the horse skins to run. Where are you?
Anemo hypostasis.
Why can't I see
Oh wait,
you?
we are not. We are in single player, I think.
Hey.
Let me join. Who is this person? Someone in my friend list.
Hey, I got a request to name this. Just a smiley emoji.
I know this person. I know this person in the sense I know that they are the C3 Furina Hammer. This person was like a newbie, level 17 newbie that I helped once, but then they stopped playing.
Oh,
But I don't know who this Seme person is. Luna. Who is this? Help. They just have help written. I think this was also some random I helped.
I haven't helped anyone.
I think that all of this was before you started playing. I didn't have anything to do and I was bored, so I would help that.
Night falls. The tide's ready to burn.
Right?
Installation chamber deployed.
Settle down.
Close your eyes. To dust.
Not much.
How much do you need?
I need a lot, but I don't have. Yeah, resin.
I need to do a boss one more time for weekly. How soon does it respawn if I
10
should I
seconds.
just claim it?
Yeah, if you claim it within 10 seconds.
I have 24 already.
Bow your
Observe. Be silent.
Let the mighty be humble.
Close your eyes.
Surge.
Offensive mode engaged.
Silence.
Ultimatum protocol.
Nice. How many pulls do I have on standard? 8. Is there any character I can... I have these 3.
1 or 2 pulls as well. Already at 76.
I see the value in my own work, but I also see the
For
meaning in
the
all the endeavors of the
mannequin, you
people
need
of
to do, I think,
Fontaine.
Miliastra stuff
I
to
believe
get
I will
their level up.
continue to take pride in fulfilling my duties.
Ororon, Mizuki, and Ian-san. These 3 are at 60. Who do I have the most materials for? Oh, Auroron, I just need this glowing horn shroom. I'll steal from your world.
No. No. Where are you? Fast. Load fast. Where? Strike tropical.
We should switch to Mualani or someone.
Yeah. Load. Ah.
I'm just stealing materials. this area is complete.
We'll find it in the
You don't actually need it, right?
nope
Okay.
shaman area. What here is like I'm getting attacked by the looting this stuff now.
Should be almost done.
Ja!
Moron, yes. But I will need to do it again for level 70. You don't get a pull at 60.
Behind you.
Ah. Oh. This is staring.
Accelerate.
There should be more in this region.
Go near the shaman area underneath the tribe.
Sorry. Ah, Masters of Night Wind.
Where is it? Let me
Is
click.
it above or below?
Below. Just select that
Meeting point thing.
triangle, obsidian totem pool.
No. Let me switch to Moalani.
Hey, it's over here.
Why don't I see? Okay. Why is this dude so big? There was no reason to make him big. They just decided to make him big. Viram. He is taller than Columbina while sitting.
Can you climb on it? Can you go on in this?
I think it's above ground now. Lurk at work, so I gotta lurk, but have a great stream. Thank you, Koro. Me.
Take what you need. Something for everyone.
Oh dear, Russ looks so funny.
Where is it? Is it even worth doing? Let me see. Auroron I can do because I have the boss material. What about Mizuki? Okay, Mizuki needs hand guards. Kakeuchi hand guard.
That gives me PTSD.
Yeah. This is Tenebrous Papilla. I should have collected that. Or Ian-san. Mizuki I can do, I think, one more level. Then I will need to do the shaman boss. Okay, let's finish this Auroron.
Soda.
What?
No, I'm just looking at what I can develop.
Yeah, I like to level up everyone to 70 to get the free pulls.
I need to do ocean it again PTSD.
Oh shit, it took so much time when you were new.
I think I once was I was using a Hydro character. It was a 20. Coma is also on 20.
How much do I need? 24 out of 45. I'll probably need to go back to my world.
I can do Chongyun. Oh, nice. Let's see if I get a 5-star. No.
What is my pity on standard banner? 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 61.
I am at 76 or 77. I got another one from I don't know.
All right, let's finish this fast.
I forgot that in co-op it doesn't pause time. So I got into a fight, then I picked up the flower and I opened map and then I could hear Columbina getting beaten up.
Four. And my Amber is at level 50. Level up. Aha, 5-star. Mizuki constellation. Why? Primordial Jade Spear, Man, Wing Spear, whatever.
Yeah,
Can't I make that?
I think weapons are the best, especially the slightly rarer ones. Not the usual Skyward and Aquila.
I've got plenty of those.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What are you still doing in my world?
Farming for the farmer, Ororon. 6 more. Oh, there's still 2 more zones, so I should get it. Oh wait, why? I didn't even get the ones from the shore. Oh my god.
What wishes,
Yeah,
bro?
I was like at 8 out of 10 on the quit fit, so I was farming Ororon and Mizuki. Let's do a temple.
I got 300 Genesis crystals.
Shinobu, nice. Did I have her C6 or no? Nice. Increases the level of Gyowei Narukami Kariyama right by 3. What is that? Is that her first or her? Yeah. I have not leveled up any of my talents.
Oh,
Even with +3, her burst is at 4.
message has been checked for what has been sent.
Why can't she move?
Messages are being mod removed, mod cancelled.
What?
Repulse chats are being cancelled by some mod.
Huh?
Check our group.
I don't sing for anyone in particular.
Let me
Still,
check.
if someone stops
What?
to listen, I hope it provides a moment of peace all the same.
I don't even have auto mod on my stream view because usually no one gets caught. Auto mod queue. Huh? I don't see it.
Let me try sending something. I am the mod. I hope I don't get cancelled.
I don't see his message.
Yeah, mine got sent.
Would you like to go moon gazing? You can sit in my rocking chair and admire the view. Or we could go to the moon and gaze down at Tefat. Whatever you prefer.
Cancel my AI. Nice.
We can run a cake shop in Genshin.
Cake shop?
I used to take long
It's
walks in
like
Silver Moon
overcooked.
Hall every day. so don't worry about me.
In
I can
Miliastra.
keep up.
Oh, yeah, you can do a lot of stuff in Miliastra.
Ultra
Shripal,
Space
are you
Shooter.
home or are you at gym? We can switch to call for something. If you want to play.
Gym. What a waste of energy. Spying on my friends from gym. Yeah, probably use that time to lift some weights.
FOMO.
Let's do the Bakunawa fight.
Can you do that?
What the try? What's the worst that's gonna happen?
Well, it's like a special domain. I don't know if it will allow co-op.
I haven't been to this place in a while. I don't even recall where is the entrance.
Same.
Take the ID.
I don't sing for anyone in particular. Still, if someone stops to listen,
One more.
I hope it provides a moment of peace all the same.
Done. I think Ororon should be. Yeah. Let me make him 71 so that I know that he's ascendant.
Would you like to go moon gazing? You can sit in my rocking chair and admire the view. Or we could go to the moon and gaze down at Tefat. Whatever you prefer.
Heck? What's that going?
You'll need to start doing Nobushi
Robushi?
for the hand guard.
I think I got enough. And
Mizuki, you have to build Mizuki now.
why?
Constellation.
No, bro. Why? I have got 537 of the 1-star ones and 2 of the 3-star ones. That's it.
Which tab do you see it? The
Third
third
one.
one. I have 9 of the 1-star one. And 3 of the 3-star one.
Wow. I got 79 drowns material from child of
In
one
total, one time.
time. The other
Professional bully.
second one is 70, then 65.
I have
All three from child.
78 from Arlecchino one time.
Arlequin, I don't use it much. Don't do that one.
It was like the newest for a bit, so I would do it. I always do the like 3 newest ones.
I've stopped doing it in Uma. I'm waiting for the new ones to drop.
Oh yeah, let me see what I can level up for Columbina.
Oh yeah,
I've already done 9, so then this.
my normal attack is pending.
Yeah, same.
Do we need materials for that?
The which one? The
Talent material.
I need the guides thing. I mean, I can craft for one more, but then I'll need more.
Yeah, I need it too.
Let me remove this person. Who should I use?
Anything's fine.
I don't sing for anyone in particular. Still, if someone stops to listen.
How many?
I have 38 resin now.
Condensed?
Nothing. We can do it
My God.
once more. But thanks for the lurk. I won't be able to claim it until like, I don't know, 12 to 14 minutes maybe.
Defensive again.
Separate scout. You're really sharp.
1 minute 40 seconds for one, and then what, 8 minutes, like 9 minutes, 10 minutes. Should I wait 10 minutes here?
Wow. Where? Are you inside?
Yeah.
You can try fishing.
Why is this place so open? Invisible walls.
Eh? In the domain. Oh. Don't consider yourself as Musashi.
Wait.
Have you listened to Columbina's attack audio without the sound effects?
I guess. No, no.
Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this
These
level
are
I was
okay?
not
not
my
able to
Can
music.
you
complete
hear
this
Paimon?
symphony.
Listen now. Let me turn off the music also. Music down.
There should be the chain of attacks to get the proper melody.
Wait, why is there no audio for the charge? Okay. Okay, if you do one normal and then one charge, then she doesn't say anything for the charge.
Weird.
Two normal and then also she doesn't say anything. Can you hear it in your own game? If you
Yeah.
turn off the volume and
Surge. 3 moons converge.
it sounds so attack audio sounds so weird without.
I think this is a bug in the co-op. We are missing those sounds.
What? No, I think it's. Yeah, it only happens if you don't complete her like 3 normal attack chain.
The final normal attack does not have a sound.
I'm getting. So much la la la.
Cha! Ha! Cha! Hit! Ha! Ha! Cha! Ha! Cha! Ho! Hit! Cha! Hoo! Ha! Ha! Fa! Cha! Ha! Ho! Cha!
Hey, let me try. Who else sings? Barbara should sing, right? Barbara. Huh?
Hi. Yeah.
She doesn't have audio for all of her attacks.
Yeah. I'll protect us.
+1. I healed for 1 HP.
Thank you.
She doesn't have audio for all her attacks. Only for like charged attacks and stuff she does, huh? Nahida. Let's compare Columbina's La 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 with
Wayne,
Silence!
a new moon
silence.
rises.
He's telling Columbina to shut up.
Settle down!
Who else might have good audio? Let it be. What else can we do? Wait, let me.
Melusines are beautiful
Oh my
creatures.
god.
They are the pride of Fontaine.
Village just started randomly saying his voice line, but because everything else is so quiet, it was so loud.
Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon? Paimon coming in! Paimon!
I think it's time for me to go.
Yeah. I am also bored. Do I have anything else I can do? I think Boa deities are done. I did the quest
I used to take
also
long walks in
yesterday.
Silver Moon Hall every day.
Morning
So
stuff.
don't worry about me. I
When
can
is the
keep
Boa
up.
update? Tomorrow? Or day after tomorrow?
Zipai also drops in a day or two.
1 day, 4 hours for this banner. I think it'll come right after this, right?
Yeah.
Do I have any pity? I have 2 pity. How much should I spend on Chibai?
Everything.
135 wounds from Primos. 6 from Star Glitter. 141 there plus 17. Bull's already there. I guess I'll go until I get a 5-star. If I lose, then I'll save guarantee for one of the new characters.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, I guess that's it for Gensha. I can do some quest maybe. What do I have? I have so many world quests. Can do something.
Did you complete Lantern right?
Yeah, like the first two
Oh,
acts, not the events.
story.
Events. Yeah, this first two story quests I did. Act 1, Act 2. Events I'll do all at once.
Hmm.
Shadow Lantern overview. I think I'll take Lan Yan. I was gonna say Yan Lan.
Lanyard.
This is Constellation full. This is full. This is full. This is full. This is full. Full. Yao Yao is at level 5, C5, and Lan Yan is at
P6.
level 2.
Yeah, yeah, is better.
Yeah, but I'll get it eventually. And I don't use her.
Better investment than Lanyan.
What is this traveler? $640 out of 1,000. You get both of these at 1,000.
Yeah. You can get the outfit in a day.
Yeah. I guess I can do the event stuff too. I don't feel like doing world quests now. What is this? Nothing passage, follow the strange light orb. Witches, I can complete these
Yeah,
witches
that
homework
is.
once. These are, I only have 3 left. Let's do this. Oh no, this. The one place where they never added a teleport waypoint.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Let me also leave the Discord call. Hello, Zenia. Good night, sleep well. Yes, I will. This is probably gonna be my last stream for the rest of the month. Because I'll have family coming over and I don't want to stream while they're here. Like, ignore them and stream. I mean, maybe like a short stream might happen, but probably not. Nothing till March.
Try and stop me!
Yeah, it's okay. Sleep well. Good night. Oh, thanks for the 3 stream streak. Let me tuck you in. I added the stuck command.
Full
Good night. Sleep well.
Hey! Isn't that Razor over there with... Whoa!
Thanks for the
The
lurk.
Grey Wolf King of the North! Wonder what they're talking about. Razor!
Let me do something. Let me stop raids so that no one raids me. Because yeah, I'll probably be ending quite soon. Yeah, stop raids for 1 hour.
Familiar scent. Ah, you two.
What is this? Notepad++ hijacked by state-sponsored hackers. From what I gather, if Notepad++ was updated through inbuilt updater between June 2025 to December 2025, then you are affected. Fresh downloads not affected. Do a full scan with malware bytes. Okay, I don't use Notepad++, so that's fine. I used to use it for like on my previous work PC. Like I used to use it for work before. What is this dude saying?
You have been good?
Yeah, let me restart my music.
Yep, we're doing great. Oh, but what happened to Berea's Razor? We saw you talking just now. Is it a secret?
We go on hunt. I tried to convince Wolf Lord.
A hunt? Oh, is that Razor's task? Are the wolves out of food? Is that why you're going on a hunt?
Give me some beast traps. The forest boars have grown big enough.
No, this hunt is not for food.
Oh?
We hunt enemies. The Dark Wolf Pack. Strange scent coming from land they took. Getting stronger. We must hunt enemies to purify the forest.
Oh, so did Boreas agree? Paimon remembers last time he said something like, Razor, you must not get involved. This is for the wolves to settle between themselves. Oh, sorry, Razor. Paimon didn't mean to dig that up again.
It's okay. I know Lupacol means no harm. Besides, teacher taught me how to talk to Wolf Lord.
Lisa taught you how to talk to him? Oh, like she told you what to say? So that means you got him to agree then, right?
Yes. Words were hard, but I did it.
Ha! So you actually managed to convince that giant, stubborn old fella. That's super impressive, Razor.
Dark wolves are enemies of the whole world. Teacher said this is not wolf problem. This is world problem. And Wolf Lord agreed. But because of that, other wolves won't join. This war is between me and Dark Wolf Pack.
Then count us in too. Those awful Rift Hounds have been getting on our nerves for a while.
Thank you. Help makes for easy hunt.
Speaking of, how is this hunt gonna work?
We set trap. chase dark wolves here, into trap. Then Wolf Lord pinned them down, and we finish hunt. Tell me when ready. We start hunt.
Let's do this.
Come on! Let's clear them out in one go!
Yes.
Burn it down! Ha! Show no mercy!
Let's try using Razor for a bit.
Get back! Light it up!
Done. Huh? Why are Lupacol here?
Oh no! The Rift Hounds are attacking them! We gotta get rid of them quick!
Incinerate!
Whew, that was close. Good thing the wolves were there to help. They intercepted those Rift Hounds for us, and even drove them away.
They added these wolves
But
in
this isn't
the
wolf
Not
problem.
Cry update, right?
You're doing this to help your Lupacol, right? Well, they want you to be safe too. Paimon bets they went to the Wolf King and said, "Listen here, this isn't just our Lupacol's problem. This is the world's problem." And then rushed over to help.
Lupacol is Lupacol. I am human, but I do not need to be wolf to be Lupacol. I just want to help them.
Well said, Razor.
Because he knows your heart.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, come on. Let's go kick some Rift Hound butt.
Rise with the sun! Off we go! Teamwork is dreamwork! Fulfill our pact! Light of the blazing sun!
Who's alive? Wait, what happened to Bennett? Was he dying?
Hear the echoes of the valley! Let's light it up! Rev the engines! Show no mercy! Bring it!
Let's use some Razor.
Look! The rest of the Rift Hounds are just up ahead. Get ready!
For Lupacol.
For Lupacol!
Fulfill our pact! Pyroclastic surge!
We did it!
Thank you for helping. I thought protecting Lupacol was up to me. But Lupacol also...
We're here because we care about you, just like you do us. That's what makes us Lupacol, right?
Right. We are Lupacol forever.
We are Lupacol forever.
And now, there won't be any more intruders in Wolvendom.
No. Dark wolf pack, rip open sky. They could come again. But me and Lupacol We'll hunt them down, no matter what.
Don't forget about us
If you
now.
ever need help, just say the word. We're here for you.
I appreciate it.
My watch has a software update, but it's low on battery. I need to charge it.
They call for me.
Sounds like they want to make sure you're safe.
They call for me.
Then I should go. Thank you for the help.
Don't mention it. That's what Lupical is for. With Wolf and them safe for now, Razor bids you farewell and heads into the forest. Amidst the dense foliage, you notice several paradise regarding him with what? Noise. Let's do... who is this? Albedo. This one apparently has a lot of lore. Let's do Albedo's one. I would imagine this should also have some lore. Albedo is one of the most lore-heavy characters in the game.
Nice and cool. Full throttle!
Oh, Albedo's over there. Wonder what he's doing.
What is he drawing? Is that a cat? Wait, that symbol on the cat.
Hey, Albedo! Thought we find you here.
Doesn't
Oh, are you
Ryan's
painting?
daughter have eyes with
Yes,
those kinds of
I
patterns?
finally have a moment to myself. So I decided to pick up my brush and get some practice in.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has happened, huh?
Indeed. Of course, thanks to your help, and my fellow knights, that matter was resolved with little issue. In addition, I was able to complete the final task my master left for me. I couldn't have asked for a better outcome. Sucrose has been advancing swiftly in her studies too. She can tackle many alchemy projects on her own now. The Knights of Favonius don't have any duties for me at the moment either. No responsibilities, no tasks, no problems to resolve.
Ah. You make that sound like a bad thing.
It's not. It just feels strange, not having to rack my brain for solutions to all manner of problems. To be quite honest, I'm finding the idle life a bit hard to get used to. I keep finding myself considering if there might be other issues that need solving. But unfortunately for me, Mondstadt seems perfectly problem-free at the moment.
There's nothing wrong with enjoying a bit of me time. Nothing good comes from working yourself to the bone. But if you're really that bored, you can come hang out with us. Paimon will teach you the true art of doing nothing.
Well, I suppose I should learn from the best.
And if you're looking for trouble, I have a knack for finding it.
Traveler, don't say things like that. You're gonna jinx us.
Strange to see you so idle, Albedo. But considering that you've completed Master Rhindaughter's final task, I suppose you deserve a break.
Who are
See?
you?
What did Paimon tell ya? You asked for trouble, and here it comes.
Sabas, what are you doing here?
Wait, you know this cat, Albedo?
Yes, he's also one of my master's creations. I suppose that makes him a family member of sorts.
Let me stretch for a bit. Give me a second. You know what? I think I'll take a short break. I'll get some water. I'll stretch for a bit. See you guys in, I don't know, 5 minutes. Hello. This guy streams. Yes, I do. I mean, I was gonna go online a lot earlier, but then I slept till like 10:30 p.m. I'm only up because I have a meeting. Good luck with your meeting. Do you work with like overseas clients? A meeting this late?
Don't you take that tone with me. I'll have you know that I alone keep that giant house in order as its butler. And yes, that has meant dealing with the assorted collection of vials and jars that you and Master use, washing them, drying them, all that work done by one cat.
Wait, you're a butler? How does that work? How do you handle vials and stuff without, you know, thumbs?
Good question.
How do you stay afloat in midair?
Huh? It's just something Paimon's always known how to do.
Housekeeping is the same for me. Such facts are not up for question, and shall receive no answers.
Hey! You're not allowed to say the same answer that Paimon said! You...
This cat belongs to Ryan, daughter Paimon. Might be best if you...
Ugh. Sure. But don't expect Paimon to listen to his rambling.
Allow me to get to the point, then. I'm here at Master Rhindaughter's request. She has a message for me to pass along. Ahem.
Dearest Albedo, in regard to that task I set for you, your discovery of an answer that you can accept is most delightful.
Good luck with your meeting. Just in case you're not listening. Pain smile.
Alas, once a problem is solved, mulling it over in one's head loses all meaning. I'm sure the pendulum in your ever-whirring mind is swinging toward boredom as we speak. Might I suggest posing questions of your own, then? Cast the answers you know aside. Instead, embrace the questions you don't.
Thanks for the 3-stream streak. I always have to prepare myself to say stream streak. 3-stream streak.
After all, questions have always been more interesting than answers, and much better for passing the time. I look forward to what questions you'll bring me upon our next meeting. And should you come up with ones even I've never considered, all the better. It's unlikely, of course, but do your best. And who knows? If you're lucky, you might just surprise me. Oh, and don't attempt to create a self whose sole purpose is to pose or ponder questions. I've tried it, and it doesn't work. Lastly, I sent Sabas with a gift for you. Do keep it well, all right? Ah, and no need to feed him. He doesn't get hungry.
I saw your status on Discord. Minu. I hope they're not too late.
As you instruct, Master.
Master had quite a bit to say, I see. That really took a lot out of me.
Wait, was that the cat speaking in Ryan daughter's voice?
Well, I've passed the message along, so I shan't tarry in this frozen death trap for a second longer. I need to deliver a separate message to Mondstadt at any rate.
Mondstadt.
Huh. Who else would have a connection to Rheindotter and Mondstadt?
Although his birth was rather recent, Master Rheindotter has long foreseen what his task should be. But I digress. I shall be on my way. If I stay here a second longer, my tail might turn into an icicle. Your gift from Master Rheindotter is on the table. Use it well.
You know, Albedo, your family gets more confusing by the second.
Yeah, now you're even adding a cat to the mix.
Speaking of, would that cat really count as a family member? He called himself a butler and all, but...
Master created Sabas long before me. By the standards of a normal family, that would make him my elder, I suppose. Of course, my family could scarcely be considered normal. So, by that logic, that type of relationship holds little meaning. At the same time, Sabas did look after me quite a bit back in the day, helping me tidy up various vials and jars. He even modeled for my sketches at times.
Wait a second. The cat you drew today... That's him then, isn't it?
Yes. Whenever I need to think, I turn to drawing and let my subconscious take over. It always helps me sort my thoughts out. And for some reason, I often wind up choosing a portrait of Sabas. I have drawn so many at this point that it's become second nature. Thus, this leaves my mind free to consider other things.
Now that you mention it, we've seen you draw a cat before.
Yeah, we thought it was just a random cat. Guess he was a way bigger deal than we thought.
Well, now you know his real name. I can tell you more stories about him sometime, if you like. But right now...
The tree takes pride in its most perfect fruit. So complete, so flawless. But you, O Seed of Dreams, do not settle for being the king of a universe, confined to its flesh.
Uh-huh.
I need to think.
Okay. That's it. Huh. The tree takes pride in its most perfect fruit, so complete, so flawless. But you, O Seed of Dreams, do not settle for being the king of a universe confined to its flesh. Interesting. There's a capacity for your inventory? What? I mean, I knew about the artifacts, but...
Instead of confined...
New questions.
New questions. New questions. Let's do this. Last one. And then we'll probably end stream. It will be my last stream. Probably. I don't know if there might be some guerrilla streams
Try and stop me!
during the month, but probably not.
Mona! We have something for you!
But if all goes well, I should return on maybe the 3rd of March or the weekend after that. I don't know. Assuming everything goes well. It will have to be a test stream too, because I'll be moving to a new place. So yeah, new place, new internet, new setup. I mean, I'll still be using my same laptop. I'm not planning to buy a new computer just yet. Although I might, if the new place is, I don't know, spacious enough, I might buy a desktop. My laptop has been struggling.
Oh, Traveler Paimon! You're full of energy today. You have something for me, you said? Is it some quick and easy way to make Mora by any chance?
Well, actually, it's some kind of task from your master.
Yeah, that's a hard no. But I guess I don't have a choice, huh? An enterprising spirit is important and all that. I just know it's going to be torture, though. I know that old hag all too well.
Why don't you just take a look first?
Huh. This book doesn't seem so special to me. Oh, whoa! Letters just fell out of it.
Oh! Maybe she's trying to reconcile with you?
No idea.
I doubt that.
Either way, it looks like I'm supposed to open these 3 letters in order. Well, let's start with the first one. If this is her task, it should be okay for us all to read. Come on, let's see what this is about.
Oh, how long it's been, my student. I'm afraid to report that getting up and about is becoming harder and harder these days.
Oh, the sympathy card. She could have tried to make it sound a bit more genuine at least.
Remember when I would chase you and you would run for dear life, trying to use that hydro phantom of yours to distract me? Oh, seems like it was just yesterday. Now you're off on your own, and I laze the days away in my rocking chair. I really should get some exercise again.
Well, then get it some other way, you old hag.
Angie face. On second thought, this seems kind of private.
Now, I'm sure you're curious as to the purpose of this letter. And to that, I say this. If you want to learn how to predict the fate of an entire kingdom, or even the entire world,
go on.
Head to Sumeru and search for the gate to an underground kingdom. Once there, open the second letter.
Huh. But she knows how to lure people in, that's for sure. Is she serious about passing on her secret technique? Guess she really is getting old.
Part of me thinks that this is just some trick, you know, like they're
You two
just.
have such a weird dynamic.
Yeah, they are like
When you talk about sentimental stuff, you fight. But when it comes to dry academic stuff, you get all emotional.
Yeah.
Anyway, this gate to an underground kingdom sounds familiar.
But then another part of me wonders if this, like, if it turns out to be like a genuine kind of, you know, passing of the torch thing, that'll probably take her by surprise, right?
Wait, you've heard of it?
Yeah, it should be the same one we're thinking of.
Perfect. I don't even need to investigate then. Oh, that means no hired guide, no lodging, no shelling out Mora left and right. Come on, there's no time.
And since you didn't mention a transportation fee just now, Paimon's guessing that means...
Yep, same method as usual. Let's go.
Wait, what is this? Hydro something? Hydromancy? What's the same method as usual?
This brings back memories of summertime. It's actually kind of refreshing.
So, this is the gate to the ancient kingdom of Conria. I'm sure a lot of secrets and tragedies lie behind it.
Well, let's open the second letter.
Let me see here. Yep, it's this one.
As the ancient Sumeru saying goes, rote knowledge bears no fruit until it is watered with the showers of wisdom. With that in mind, there is a phenomenon in this land known as the Sign of Apausha. It is a celestial mark that burns in response to an all too ardent desire for the truth. In that sense, perhaps it's more fitting to call it a sign of truth instead. The records of this ancient kingdom state there are several large subterranean lakes in Conria, clear and calm as mirrors, whose surfaces reflect the true stars. This is because the sign of truth created in the water is able to bypass the false sky and connect to the outer universe.
I had no idea.
To observe the gravitational forces and influence of celestial bodies, one must be able to see past the false sky. Only by obtaining these cosmic parameters can one predict the fate of this world. Now, my task for you is as follows. Open a sign of truth in front of the gate to Conria.
The rest is a bunch of stuff about the ceremony the old hag came up with to summon this thing.
Yeah, all these planetary trajectories and runes. Paimon's not even gonna try to make sense of it. So, what do you say, Mona? Are you gonna attempt it?
Well, I hate to admit it, but it looks like the parameters she came up with could work. Frankly, this prospect is quite exciting, and heading back now will just cost me another night of lodging, so no better time than the present. Emissaries of the enduring stars, wanderers over ecliptic and equatorial plains, radiant celestial brethren.
Didn't we encounter a sign of Apausha before? And wasn't it a bad thing? When they're like abyss creatures pouring out of a rift or something? I'm not sure this is such a good idea. Oh well.
Traverse the twisted paths of the cavernous void. I, Mona Magistus the astrologist, invoke the power of Hydro to balance the scales. By wisdom and truth, let the thirst be relieved. I, Mona Magistus, the astrologist, summon you, O stars, to stand before me!
Did it work?
There you go.
Monsters! How did that happen?
Why are you surprised? You already seen like a sign of Apausha, but
No
that brings...
dice. The sign of truth only opened long enough for the monsters to slip through. Darn it. I didn't get a glimpse of the real stars at all. Whatever. I'll just take it out on you.
That was a cool chant though.
Ceremony failed, but the old hag's new theory seems workable. I have a better grasp of hydromancy now. And the perfect test subjects to test it on. Guided by destiny. Let me scribe.
Light of the blazing sun!
Phew! That's that.
Well, the old hag said to open the third letter once it was all said and done, but I couldn't make it work. So, should I still open it?
Yeah, the third letter is gonna be like, if you're reading this, it means that you failed to open this, like the sign of truth or whatever, for long enough. I had foreseen this already, but this was a lesson to not meddle with the stars or something.
You know, Paimon thinks she understands your dynamic a lot better now. Look, she didn't say you had to successfully complete the ceremony, so you can open it. It'll be fine.
I guess. All the same, I doubt she has anything nice to say.
If you're reading this, it means you attempted to open the sign of truth.
I called it.
Seriously, I can't believe you actually tried it.
I called it.
What are you laughing at, you old hag?
Conria was home to several lakes of stars, rendering the fabric of space in that area comparatively unstable. As a result, attempts to break through the firmament through non-physical means were more likely to succeed. In any case, I knew this place was well hidden and wouldn't be frequented by too many people. As such, any negative effects of failing to open the sign of truth would remain small scale. And of course, as my student, I felt sure you would have the chops to deal with the abyssal creatures that roam beyond the false sky. Even if you couldn't beat them, I am certain you could outrun them.
Look at that face.
You always were fast on your feet.
I need this as like a reaction image. Wait, I need to time it so that the paper is, yeah. Maybe. Okay, I'll just take a complete screenshot and I'll crop it later.
Ah, connecting hydromancy to the kind of wisdom that quenches thirst. Truly, my genius knows no bounds. The practical application of the scry glass has also reduced disturbances caused by the false sky. I'd like to see Alice try and top that.
Mona cuts it off there. Apparently the old hag proceeds to brag for a further few thousand words. After sorting through the observation results, you all return to Mondstadt. It is 3 a.m. Probably time to end now. Four polls. Should we do it? $65, 70, 71. We can do it. We'll reach 75 pity, and after that we should be at soft pity. Wait, I never claimed my mail from today. I know, Lenny thinks I have no idea, but I'm familiar with the workshop and the magic props in there, including how many there are and where they're kept. That's why I see all those extra bearings and screws along with the new scratches on the props. But I know when something is better left unsaid, and I know how to make sure it stays that way. This is one of those times, which is why I haven't brought this up with him yet. In the meantime, I've picked up a tongue twister to use during magic performances. It's really effective for commanding the audience's attention, and see, having a blank expression on my face actually really helps here. If you want to learn how to fly through tongue twisters without tripping up, I can teach you. You may want to have some tea first though. Practicing tongue twisters can really dry out the throat. When Lenny comes, we'll break out the tongue twister for him too as his birthday gift for this year. A grand surprise. Ah, it is that time of year again when I must wrestle with the most troublesome question. What kind of surprise should I cook up for everyone this time? Using my old tricks simply won't. I might be able to fool the other children, but Lynette and Fremine? Oh no, I doubt I could so much as lift a finger before they guess exactly what I'm doing. And so, I've taken a different tack. I've been working on an entirely new magic trick in secret. A performance like this, however, calls for a partner. A friend who's clever, quick, and totally on my wavelength. So come on over now. I promise this will be the most incredible miracle you will experience all year. P.S. Please keep this just between us, alright? Lynette and Fremine mustn't know about this. Here's a little something to help you keep the secret, something I picked out myself. I have a feeling you'll like it. Man, using the trackpad to scroll really goes crazy. Oh. Cubic tricks. This is so cute. Okay, let me... Whoa, they're clapping it. Let me claim these and let me put them in the paimon.moe website. I like to maintain a list of all my achievements on the website. Meetings in the Outrealm Series 6. All of the achievements. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that brings my total at 1440. Uh-oh. Ah, right, I did one of the... Ooh, I did one... The Wonders of the World one, right? Which one was it? Hera? Frost Knight Hera? Why do I not see it? Achievement for... Stranded Constellation, Stranded. Let's go. Okay, we have the Achievements synced up. Should I also import my pull history? Might as well do it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Achievement time apart. After 10,000 winters come 10,000 springs anew. After 10,000 partings, 10,000 reunions too. The past has slipped away, yet tomorrow holds the promise of you. It's cute. Like, I'm a little apprehensive about like how close to incest this stuff is, but I also understand like being really close to your sibling. What do I have right now? This. And said this. It's cute. Let me open up my wish history. Okay, with that, I think we are done for the day. 20 days. I'll probably do these off stream when I have time. Yeah. I might do like a really short, like no mic pulling stream randomly in the middle of the month sometime, to pull the new characters in Genshin and Wua. So probably in like 2 days this time. Or 3, I don't remember when the Wua banners come out, but I'll probably do both together if I can hold off on it. Because I mean, there's this dopamine rush of, you know, pulling on gacha characters.
Exploration and trials. Adventuring is right up my alley.
Sometimes I literally just wait for the maintenance period to be over and the servers to go online so that I can pull the character as soon as possible. How does her hair stand up like that? Look at that. Defies physics. But anyway, I think that is going to be it. Any other short little things I could do before? It's too late for the Wova daily reset, so probably not right now.
Oh, which should I choose? It's been getting quite busy recently. Come take a look. There will definitely be something that catches your eye.
Yeah.
That's wine, aren't you? Commercial for it, and I'll live to that.
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
I guess I'll post a commission at the Adventurers Guild.
Today's recommendation is the steak.
Yeah, I think we end it here. Oh,
Come
why
take
is
a
it?
look. There will definitely be
Oh my
something
god,
that
why is my
catches your
game
eye.
laggy?
The neighboring nation of Leroy has the most prosperous commercial port, and I'll live to that.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm sleepy now.
Commission at the Adventurers Guild.
It's been getting quite busy recently.
Yeah, I think I'll just end there. I'm not feeling up for a raid today.
There's a strange wanderer near Wolfendom.
So good night. I will. Yeah, I think I will do one short, really short stream. Probably it'll probably be no mic because I will have family over, and I don't know if I
I guess I'll
want
post a
to.
commission at the Adventurers
Yeah.
Guild.
So I'll do a really short stream to pull the new characters. I think both Genshin and Wu are coming out with new banners on same day or like one day apart. But yeah, that's it. Good night from me. Good time zone to you wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening. Hope you have a wonderful month because I'll probably not see most of you again. And yeah, bye bye.